Hey everyone, how's it going today? Thought I'd get back to working on this alien CV. I also want to get back to that alien base too, so I've got a lot of projects floating around. Um, I'm going to try something a little different with the video, and basically I want to explain a little bit on what I want to do and where my issues are with this ship so far, and areas I think I would like to change. Now what I'm looking at is the front profile. And I kind of like it. It's unique up here, but these thrusters over here, to me, kind of seem like they're a little too high or kind of sticking out a little bit weird, and it's a strange profile. I can't say if I like or don't like it. One area I do not like, and I was kind of playing around, and I did this big indentation in this section here, and kind of did this thing here. Couple issues I actually have with it is kind of wasteful on space versus the amount of blocks that are used. Not that this is going to probably need more space, but I kind of wanted this line here coming up and kind of like round off and kind of come back a lot further than what it is. And yeah, so basically what I'm thinking about doing is redoing this chunk over here and trying to get that to look better. And then as well as I wanted to do something different over here with the thrusters. Um, it's kind of squarish on the edges here. Now it's not horribly bad, but you know, it's not exactly ideal though. It wasn't really what I had envisioned from what I was originally planning on the ship. And little things like this too. I don't really like my little blocks I put here to try to I don't know, add some little chunks that stick out. Um, what I do like and where I want to try to pursue the style more is this area back here, which fits the theme better, I believe. And I'm going to try to get a little of that going on in this front area, I believe, too. Um, but basically, I wanted to just talk about what I was going to do here, and then I'm going to switch over to a little bit more of a high-speed video thing and try to address the areas that I'm looking at and try to keep this video fairly short. So I'm going to get started on that, and we'll see how it comes out. Okay, so this part has been modified heavily now. Um, I'll call it attempt 2. I might still make some changes to it, as it's not quite what I was looking for yet, but this is a this style is kind of deceiving too, because how it looks after it's textured changes it a lot, because there'd be like lights and breakups and things like that in this area. But I don't know if I like what was done here yet or not. It's not bad. It kind of matches the back better, um, which is kind of the point. I'm trying to get it all kind of in a theme. So the next part that I mentioned is I want to do something with this whole placement of the thrusters. And what I'm actually kind of thinking, and also this line here, this is weird. I kind of want to address that as well. So that is the next part of this, and I'm gonna kick that off right now. So I'm just trying to segment the building from the commentary a little bit right now, see how that works out. And yeah, of course, let me know your thoughts on this setup as well. But I'm gonna get started on that now. Okay, at this point, it a little bit better on the on those sides there. It's starting to take a little more shape. Um, Overall, I like lowering those thrusters down a little bit. I think it gives it a little bit more of a curve going across the front here. So yeah, I guess I'm happy with that. Next part, I got to try to figure out the bottom and then start moving on the back. Now, another thing I'm not terribly happy with and that looks out of place are these turrets I put here. Um, the theme of this doesn't really match this. I believe it's more like what I would do with the human ships and things like that. So that is going to be something else. But I do want turrets there. That's the thing. Or I want turrets in the general location. Um, and actually, I'm kind of looking at new opportunities to add some turrets, like over on the bottom here. Kind of wanted to have this, I called it a mothership, but it's probably not going to be what I would consider a mothership, size-wise. And that's a thing. I still, even what I've got here, I expect this to be pretty high class size, definitely exceeding 5, but I would like to keep it at 10 or lower. So that's something I'm thinking about too. At the end of the day, I want things to be usable. Um, like if you wanted to use this ship as your primary ship, I want it to be fully functional, usable. Despite using the really big thrusters on this, I don't intend on this ship being a 7500 CPU, or it'd probably far exceed that. But it will be compliant and everything else. I don't want to, of course I'd love to throw like more guns and things on these things, but I mean, I did that with one ship only, the Merc Mav, which I really wanted to run the 12 rocket launchers on it. But that, of course, makes it unusable in probably most servers and things out there. Single player is fine, unless servers allow, exceedingly more weapons of certain types at least. But so yeah, that's it's taken shape better. I'm liking it more and more. But I got to keep on going with this alien theme, and I kind of want to do something special on the sides over here too. Maybe kind of flare it up, give it some, I don't know, weirdness, kind of like what I've got going on in these other spots, just to keep it all kind of consistent. And it's kind of rough because it's not my native style, but I'm getting more and more used to this. And yeah, it's going to be a pretty heavy ship in combat armor, and the way the design is too, it's very curvy, and a lot of times I get asked, does it have leg shot, or how is that done? Well, a leg shot block is basically all about separating like blocks. When you get into a big block mass, it kind of makes it invisible, and then if you got laggy conditions and things like that, when a projectile comes at your ship, it looks at this as like nothing and doesn't check it often enough. So for instance, if I were to put in some kind of block that separates that, and there's a lot of different blocks that you can use, and some are supposedly are definitely probably better than others. Now, I'm not going to keep this, but I'm just kind of showing you what happens. Like say a projectile came at this point here, rather than coming in here, what you see is like more blocks. And then it does a collision check again on those blocks and prevents projectiles or whatnot from just passing through that area unchecked. Now, flag's probably always going to be a thing. I hope eventually they could straighten out the code to make it check it better, and something like this isn't needed because I don't particularly like to do this. It does add to the size class, doesn't make it cost more, it just adds to the size class. And of course, the blocks that you're actually using, since they're not full blocks, are going to be a little less hit points. Not a huge amount, but a little less. But that is the idea of it. Now, one of my concepts when I build stuff too is I go with a lot of angled designs. And I think by doing a lot of this stuff, it's kind of like almost like an exterior leg shot to some extent. I mean, because it's going to probably do a collision detect a little bit better than if it was just a flat surface. That's just a theory, though. I don't know for sure if that's the case. Now, of course, this ship to a front area like this, and I do intend on putting like a pilot seat. Actually, I was going to have it on the ground here, but I decided I don't want it there now. I actually want it raised up a row. So when you actually sit and fly this thing, I want to have the pilot seat about here, which gives you kind of a neat view. You can't look up, but you can look down and to the front. And of course, I'll tint all these windows correctly too. But now that I know how to do that, thanks, Doom Noodle. But that's where it's at right now, and I'm gonna hit this again tomorrow. I do need to get back to that base as well, so I'll probably work on something like that. I might end up doing a video on that too, on the interior, because that's kind of a different thing. But I hope you like the changes that were made on this session. I think it looks a little bit better. But there's a lot more to do on this ship, and one thing, when I started the ship out, it looked probably a little bit smallish, and I have this way of, I'll start a little smaller, and then I keep on finding areas that would probably look better if I stretched it out or expanded the ship, and then I usually blow whatever I was thinking on size class. Happened again with this ship here too. I actually did have a couple videos where I took the original design and I stretched it out in this section. I actually ended up stretching it out like nearly about 8-9 blocks from what the original design was. But of course, by doing that, I think the body ended up looking better. It was too short before. It could have probably been longer yet. I think I could have got away with that, but also, you know, I intended this on being a Class 3 ship, and it ended up being a, well, kind of a light Class 5 ship. So, well, I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see how this new format works. Trying to keep the videos a little shorter, and I'm not sure exactly what speed I should run this at yet on the building parts, but it's probably going to be above 3x because I want it to be fairly quick. At least you know what's going on and what my objective and goals are and whatnot. All right, well, thanks a lot, and there'll be more videos on this. And let me know what you think of the format. One last thing too is I haven't quite got it down on how to add the commentary over the high-speed video yet. I'm sure it's not very challenging. I just haven't done it yet. So that's why I did it this way this time. All right, thanks a lot. See you later, all.